So today we have Anurag Rai, who is a 3 times best-selling author. The fourth book is on its way out, right? But he's also an organizational psychologist and he's the founder of Superhuman in You and Amwal Academy. Today, Anurag is here to share and unpack a very interesting story about his journey when he came to the UK. So, Anurag, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming. The very first question, what we always do is a tradition here now is we want to know who Anurag is when you're not speaking about leadership, when you're not standing in front of a crowd and delivering speeches. Who is Anurag and how would you describe yourself?
Yeah. So to start with, I'll tell you a concept, right? So
Okay.
I see Anurag as a character for the time I've got on this planet, and what that allows me to do is to take an objective look to Anurag's strengths, Anurag's weaknesses, Anurag's failures, Anurag's successes. It's like you're playing a video game, right? And you have got the capacity to level up the player as much as you want,
Okay.
right? The player's losses or wins is not a reflection of your
Yeah,
worth,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's just always like the potential is limitless. It can always level up. So that allows me to see Anurag as another person, and that helps. I know we're going to be touching on resilience, but that helps on that too. Outside, when I'm not an organizational psychologist, leadership coach, or working with leaders,
Yeah.
I have a son who I like to spend time with, and
I see him on LinkedIn. I see
yes,
his picture, yeah.
yes, and I also enjoy staying fit, so I do things like Spartan races. I've finished two. As you know, I also enjoy writing books because one of the mission is to positively impact 1 billion lives, to take the message across to as many people as possible.
Yeah. The message of what, if you want to tell us, message about leadership, message of what message are you taking across to 1 billion people?
So the message I want to take across is how to live a happy and fulfilled life.
Okay.
Now, the mistake that we often make is we don't look at those two things as separately. So there's happiness and there's fulfillment. We need both for a good quality life. A lot of the time, people are only trying to achieve happiness.
Happiness, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The problem with that is you cannot achieve happiness. You can only realize it.
Okay.
Yeah. And fulfillment is something that you go towards. So it's fulfillment comes from a sense of growth. Happiness comes from the absence of unhappiness. So we don't create happiness, we create unhappiness. Once we stop creating unhappiness.
Happiness and we're happy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm smiling because I'm holding myself back. I know we can go on and on and on,
Yes.
around this sort of discussion, but just quick to focus back on you.
Yeah.
So where are you originally from?
So I'm originally from India.
Okay.
I came to UK in 2005 with 100 pounds, few clothes, knew no in this country, and I came here with an ambition to open my restaurant business.
That's what I was going to ask you. So you see, so you came in 2005 to open a restaurant business.
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Because I wanted to do something on my own. I wanted to go out and go out into it because I was always inspired by these people who would go out their natural place where they are and go out in a totally different place in totally strange land and then do amazing things.
Amazing things. Yeah.
One of the things that I was really interested in or curious about, I won't say passion, I don't think it was passion, but it was curiosity.
Okay.
Is cooking or like the cuisine, like the food.
Yeah.
How food can bring together different cultures, and is sometimes food can also be used to create memories. Like whenever we are having a special occasion, there's food involved in it.
Yeah. Curiosity is good. I think
Yes.
curiosity kind of fuels that kind of drive. You're
Yes.
curious to know something, so you move out. So it's good.
Yes. So one of the things that I was good at is Indian cuisine because I had good knowledge because I was in India. So I went to Google and said, okay, which places in the world like Indian food? And one of the things that came is UK. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what brought you in 2005. You said you came with £100. Did you think £100 was going to be sufficient, or that was all you had?
So in India, £100 could last you, especially in that time, could last you for a while.
Okay,
But
okay.
that's all I had.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
So I kind of had this idea that it wouldn't be sufficient, but I did not have this idea that it wouldn't even be sufficient to survive 1 week, which I realized when I got
Oh,
here.
wow.
So yeah, yeah,
Okay, you
it was.
landed. What did you do when you landed? Where did you come to first? Edinburgh, you said England? That
No,
was,
Edinburgh. It
it
was
was
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh you came
Yes.
to first.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So I came here, soon realized that £100 was not enough. I just like, I still remember the afternoon I came here. I put my bag in the place, that small sofa that I was renting. And yeah, just went out, started looking for jobs. Um, for 1 week, I would walk into the every shop that was there on the on Princess Street and around surrounding areas. Thankfully for me, I found the job within a week because I think I put my CV around 100
Everywhere.
places. Yes.
Probably they saw you coming. This guy is here again. This guy is here again. We
Yeah.
better give him a job.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. So found my first job was as a crew member in McDonald's.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay. And I mean, that was something you like cooking anyway. So
yes,
that was like kind of the perfect job at that time for
yes,
you.
yes.
Okay. So you started working. How long did you work with McDonald's?
So I soon got promoted. So I was put into a fast track program to be a business manager
Oh,
within
wow.
6 months. Worked really hard, so they must have seen that
Wow.
okay,
Yeah.
this guy is
Yeah.
willing to put everything he's got. So yeah, after that, I spent about 6 years working. So a year and a half
You
later.
spent 6 years working in McDonald's.
No, so spent 6 years working in food industry. So a year and a
Okay.
half later, I quit McDonald's
Okay.
and worked for another fast food chain. My last job was as an ops director for a company who runs restaurants and food outlets in airports and train stations.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I think that 6 years gave me a lot of experience into leadership, into people, into human behavior, and also it allowed me. So one of the jobs I was doing was I was sent into this group of restaurants
Mm-hmm.
who were underperforming, and I would go in there. I would train the leadership. I will change the culture, and within 3 months, the performance would go up. And that I learned a lot from my time in food industry
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
those six
Okay.
years.
Okay. That's really good. So probably you had it in you anyway, because did you have any prior leadership training?
During those 6 years, I changed about 6 jobs, and the reason why I changed 6 jobs is because I was every time I changed job, I got a promotion, and I learned something new. Because the
So
goal
that
was
so in other words, you were learning as you were going, learning on the
yes,
job. It's not
yes,
as if you were taught about leadership from India and you were
no,
trying to
no,
apply what you had learned,
no,
but you were learning as
yes,
you were
yes,
progressing and growing.
yes.
Okay, so that
So
means you're very good in studying people, studying situations and
yes, so
solving problems.
yes, I am. I don't like to see it that way. I don't like to see it. I'm good at anything. I like to see it as I can be good. Like whatever you practice, you get good at it.
Good at. Okay,
So
okay,
so so
okay.
I think I practiced, and that's why I became good at it.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay, okay. Thank you for telling me that. Okay. So within the 6 years, you were saving up money because you still had this dream of
yes,
setting up your own restaurant, right?
yes,
So 6 years, you had enough money, you started your own restaurant, I guess. So
yes,
tell us about that. So
yes. So
restaurant started in Edinburgh.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
2011 managed to save enough money to open my restaurant, and it was great. Within 6 months, I had about 10 staff working for me, and I was thinking about buying my next restaurant.
Wow.
Um,
6 years, you saved money enough for that.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
Okay.
I think money and experience. I think that experience helped me as well.
Okay.
But then after 6 months, a series of events happened that forced me to lose it all.
What happened, Anurag?
So I'll tell you briefly what happened, and it all happened within a week. One of my chefs one came to me in afternoon with tears in his eyes, and he said to me that his mom's not well, so he need to travel back to his country urgently. And I said, okay, it's a family emergency. Family comes first. You should go.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said he does not have enough money to buy the flight tickets and to pay hospital bills for his mom. Now this guy has been working for me for last 6 months, so we had good rapport. I
Yeah.
trusted him, so I said, okay, well, it's a family emergency. You got to go. I gave him any personal money I had for the flight tickets and hospital bills, and then he left. In the evening, CID came in the restaurant, Crime Investigation Department,
Mm.
and they were looking for this guy. So I knew, okay,
There's trouble somewhere.
yes,
Yeah.
he must have done something wrong.
Yeah.
And now I have to prove to these guys that I was not involved, because technically he just used my money to
So you
escape.
transferred the money to his account. So there
Yes,
was that
yes,
trace.
yes. So couldn't sleep that night. Obviously, next few days went on doing interviews with CID. To try and prove that, okay, I was
You're not
nowhere not involved,
Yeah.
which I think they understood from the very beginning, which was a good thing. But then after 3 days, I go into the bank to deposit my last few days of cash takings into the bank. And I realized that this guy also managed to take my checkbook, forge my signatures, and take all the money out from the business account.
He forged your signature.
Yes, yes.
That's
Because he knew, because he was a chef in the restaurant, so often I would leave the check for the suppliers, that when the suppliers come, you just hand them the check. So I think he knew what my signature looked like. And that's how he was able to forge it. Now, the bank said only if you came in yesterday,
yeah.
we could have still done something
Stopped
about it. But because I was busy with like all these interviews with
So he
CID,
cleared the whole account.
yeah, yeah, like he kept taking small amounts
Okay,
of.
small amount. Because I was about to say the bank would have, raised some, concerns if they
Yes.
saw a huge amount of money leaving at once.
Yes, yes. He kept taking small amounts until like the check started, like check would not go through.
Go through
Yeah,
bouncing.
yeah.
Oh my God.
So I at this time I was thinking, okay, what am I going to do? Right, I don't have any money on me because I gave it to him. He took all the money, so there's no money in the business account. I have 10 staff to pay wages to. I have suppliers, and I did not share it with anyone at this stage because I wanted to have a plan first before I share it to people. But it was hard. Uh, one of the things, it seemed like that it's over and I had to close the restaurant. But at that time I was on visa, which also meant that I had no help from the government.
Oh, okay.
So, and my visa was based on the
Was
restaurant.
tied to the business you
Yes.
were doing. Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
So
Okay.
if I close the restaurant,
You-
that means I have to go back.
Yeah.
And that's why it wasn't an easy decision as like I can close the restaurant. It was hard, and spent few more sleepless nights. And just when I thought, so at this point I was thinking that, okay, what's happening is the universe conspiring against me. And just when I thought that things could not get any worse, something else happened.
Oh my God.
So a lady from the council comes to inspect the place. Now, we were a new restaurant, so we were due an inspection anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
But it happens that she comes in the same week. And she came in, she did the inspection. Now, it was an old building. So the wiring in the restaurant was done as per the old standards. She said it's not safe to operate. These wirings, like the regulations have changed now. This wiring is not safe, so you have to close the restaurant down, get the work done, and then you can open again. She cut the electric supply.
Oh my goodness.
So now I have no money on me because I gave it to
No
him.
money, no nothing, and no business, no.
Yeah, no money in the business account and no incoming because the restaurant shut. I did not have money to pay the rent, so I moved out of my flat. Now, at that time, thankfully, I did not have any family with me, so it was an easier
Just
decision to
you.
make.
Yeah.
So I moved out from my flat and moved into the storeroom of my restaurant because I still had the keys for my restaurant
But
because
you
that
just
was
couldn't operate it.
yes,
So you went to stay in the restaurant, in the
yes,
storeroom. Are you serious?
yes. Because the keys were the last thing that I was willing to give away. So I still had the keys. I go into the restaurant. Spent 4
Is
nights.
it not cold in the store? Is there heating in the storeroom?
No, the supply
They
was
cut,
cut.
yeah, exactly. Well,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So there was nothing. No heating, no light, and
No light.
no light.
Yeah, they cut it off.
Yes. And I spent 4 nights in the dark storeroom, asking myself this question: Why did this happen to me? And I realized later on when I reflected back on it that our answers are only as good as our questions. So when I asked, why me? Why me? Why me? The answers that I got was all the bad things I'd done in my life. Because I was a big believer in karma. You do good things
Good
happen.
things happen. If you do bad things, it happens.
Bad things
Bad
happen.
things happen.
So I must have done something bad to deserve this. And surely that thought did not take me to good places. I was not diagnosed, but I think I was depressed. I
I'm
think,
sure,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I
obviously,
was
yeah,
a really bad place.
definitely, yeah,
No, I think because before that, I had a good mindset, which allowed the shift of thinking on the fifth night. So on the fifth night, I think I got tired asking why me, why me, why
because
me.
you were not getting any answers anyway.
Yes,
No
yes.
answers, yeah.
And a new question came in my head. And this time the question was, why not me? When bad things can happen to small kids in war zone countries, surely they haven't done any bad karma.
Yeah,
Then why not me?
yeah. Bad things happen to good people now. We can't question it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that shifted my perspective from stop blaming myself to start thinking, okay, what can I do about it? I realized that maybe it's not about good karma, bad karma. Maybe things just happen. It's what we do about it.
I know what you mean, but it's so hard sometimes to like, you definitely would ask those questions, why is this happening? Because you came in, you did so well, you've worked, you built up this, and then in just, I think all this happened in less than a month, right?
Yeah, like
Or
just within a week.
within a week.
Yes, yes, because he took all the money, which was obviously
That
in
is
the start, and yeah,
too much, too soon.
yeah, yeah,
I know some people probably would have thought of taking their own life, committing suicide or something, because you really didn't have anything at that point.
yes,
Nothing at that
yes.
point in
Well,
time.
I would be lying if that thought did not come to my head at that time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you quickly turn the question of why me to why not me. And that gave you a different perspective, right?
Yes, so I stopped blaming myself, and because I stopped thinking that I have done something to deserve
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
and I started focusing on what can I do about it.
So stop throwing a pity party.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So reach out to people, ask help, got enough money to get the work done.
See, so that is always the first step, and for some people, it's the hardest step. Reaching out to people, telling people, sharing people. So did you have to explain to them what you were going through?
Yes. So the reason why it's hard for people to ask for help is because of what I was doing. They're blaming themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
guilt and shame that stops people from asking
And
for
that's
help.
ego, has
Yeah.
to do with the ego
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, managed to get enough money, get the work done, open the restaurant again, spoke to the employees and explained them the situation. No, I wasn't trying to hide anything anymore now because I stopped blaming myself. So it wasn't guilt and shame. It's the situation, not me. Um, some of them agreed to work with me. So I explained them that I might not be able to pay you the full wages till this time. And
And they were supportive. They still
yes,
accepted to work
yes,
with you.
yes, because I said we'll clear any dues once we
Yeah,
start making
yeah,
money.
yeah, yeah.
So we worked together. Year and a half, I had to work in the night shift in a hotel while running the restaurant
So
during the day.
trying to, gather more,
Yeah, cash
money.
flow,
Yeah,
just to
cashier. Yeah.
make sure
Okay.
that there's some cash flow, and we were back in profit.
In a year time, one year,
Year and a half, yeah.
a
So
year and
about
a half.
18 months, yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's something. That's something great. That's something great. So at that point when that happened, what did you start telling yourself? I mean, what was coming to your mind as you were seeing, oh, I'm doing this, I can do it. Things are picking up, things are coming, back into shape. What started going through your mind?
So I think the thing that helped me most was when I stopped focusing on the outcome and started focusing on the action. So I have this mantra that I live my life by, and I think I started living it from that time, from that night in the dark storeroom. That life is like a game that we cannot control. Sooner we accept it, better we play. And while we cannot control the game, we can all become a better player.
Yeah, we can strategize
Yes,
and
yes.
plan
So it was always about, okay, how can I respond best to whatever's in
to
front of
whatever.
me? Yeah.
Okay. A very interesting story. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. You're really strong. You're a superhuman. So how did that name come about? I guess that's it. Superhuman in you, right?
Yes, yes.
So
So after, so in 2014, when my son was born, I decided restaurant career is not for me because I would never see him. So sorry. So
cut off that part.
So in 2014, when my son was born, I decided restaurant career is not for me, because I would never see him. I would be working Christmas, I'd be working New Year, I'd be
Yeah,
working whenever the
yeah,
schools are
yeah.
off. So I go to Google. As you know, I always go to Google when I when I have questions like this, and I ask Google, okay, what's the most stable career in the UK? And Google gave me few options, and one of those options were accountant. So I said, okay, I'm going to be an accountant. Started studying accounting. Nothing would go in my head. I couldn't learn a single thing.
So let's study it on your own,
Yes, yes,
just on your own.
yes, self study. Because I still had the business, so I had to run the business.
Yeah, okay.
Um, so that's when I realized, okay, I have to work on myself first before I can learn something new. I spent next 2 years working on myself. Anything that said on the tin that this will improve your performance, I tested it. So meditation, biohacking, NLP, psychology, yoga, everything.
Why did you feel the need to work on yourself, Anurag?
Because I realized, right, I've already created the philosophy. If you want to win the game, the
You need
only,
to,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, you can
So that
only,
was part of your own like strategy, a
yes,
means to,
yes,
okay.
you have to become a better player. So it's the player,
That you
is
were
the,
trying to develop yourself,
yeah,
improve yourself.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So that 2 year of work, what that did for me is I managed to finish a 3 year accounting qualification in 9 months, and while running the business and obviously having a young child at home.
In 9 months, I don't believe that.
Yes, yes, it was. And again, I didn't plan it to finish it in 9 months. I planned it to finish as soon as I can, but it happened. Actually, that was a period where I could have finished it in 7 months, but I lost my grandmother, and before which I did
Oh,
not
I
focus too
imagine.
much.
Yeah.
Um, but my friends started noticing this change. They would say, "Man, how are you doing this?"
So is it all the things you were doing, the meditation, the yoga, the what's it called, biohacking? Did all that help in any way? Would you say
So
they
some of it
helped?
helped.
Some of it,
Yeah,
okay.
some of it did not. But I think it's the process of continuous improvement,
Okay.
that was, and something that I talk about in my books is, so meditation is one thing that really helped.
Yeah,
Um,
meditation is good. Yeah.
what helped was, so everything in our life is the creation of our mind. Yeah, and that's why it's important to work on that mind,
Yep.
because and I think that's what helped. So everything that I did to improve the way I think, the way I respond, how I manage myself, that's what helped.
Okay. Okay.
So my friends started noticing this. They would say, "Man, how are you doing this? You have a young child at home, so you're definitely not sleeping. You're
Have a
running,
restaurant, you're
yeah,
running a business.
yeah, and you're finishing this qualification in record time. Man, you're a superhuman."
Okay.
And that's when the idea of
A superhuman in
yeah,
you.
superhuman in you came in my head, because I realized, well,
It's not normal.
yes,
It's what you did is not normal.
well, I realize I'm as ordinary as they come. So if they can see a superhuman in me, maybe
There's
there's a
superhuman in
superhuman in all of
everybody.
us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So you came up with that concept and you started doing coaching. At what point, at this point, you were an accountant, right?
Yeah.
When did you leave accounting to go over to doing or studying or becoming, speaking about leadership?
So in 2020, in the lockdown, when I started in the lockdown, when I started, I had a bit of extra time, so I wanted to share this message, everything that I've learned. So I wrote and published my first book, The Power Within, which went on to be a US Amazon
Oh,
bestseller.
so this is your first book.
Yes,
Oh, really? I thought it was like the third book.
no, that's the first book.
Oh, okay.
Because one of the things that helped me really was meditation.
Yeah, your meditation is absolutely. I do. I mean, I practice that, and it's
Yes,
really, really good. Okay, I will allow you to finish before I say one or two things about the book.
yes. So when after I published the book, it went on to be a US Amazon bestseller, and that's when more people started approaching me, mainly for advice. It was family and friends, and I started giving some unofficial advice. They enjoyed it.
So how did you now transit from being an accountant to speaking about leadership?
Yes. So in 2020, when the whole world was in lockdown, I had a bit of extra time with me. Um, so I wanted to share everything that has worked for me. And one of the things that worked for me, like really worked for me, was meditation. I was surprised why more people are not doing it. Yeah.
But they don't know about it, I guess.
Yes.
I guess because I practice meditation, and it helped me in my own when I was going through my own challenges. So I guess it's
Yes.
good.
Yes. So I decided to write my first book, The Power Within, which was a 21-day meditation challenge. It went on to be a US Amazon bestseller, and more people started approaching me, mainly family and friends who've seen the journey for advice after the book. I started giving them some unofficial advice or coaching. They got results, and I enjoyed it.
What
And
sort of
that
results did they get? If I may
so
ask, just one or two examples of the sort of results. I want people to that are listening to understand the benefits, because you've spoken about it. I'll just speak about the book now, Power Within. I got it, read it, and I find it very simple in a good way. So if you're just coming into meditation, you want to understand what it is about, talks about the benefit of meditation, talks about the chakra system. I think you spoke about yoga as well.
mm,
It's very basic, so it's good for beginners, I would say. So it's a good book. But what benefits did you say the people that came to meet you, what were those benefits that you recorded or they told you they had when they did meditation?
yeah, so obviously the coaching that I was doing was not just on meditation, was on all different kind of things. So they if they were looking for a new job, they got the job, or if they were just finding things hard in their life, they were more balanced, they were more focused, they were more present. But when it comes to meditation, I think the reason why most people struggle to meditate,
They don't understand what it is.
because they have got this concept in their head that okay, meditation is like
You're not thinking
the monk's way, right? So you sit, you put down a mat, you sit on it, and you ask your brain to shut
to
down, and
shut down,
it should listen to
which
you.
is impossible, right?
Yes, they don't realize that the monks who meditate in Himalayas, they don't have deadlines. They don't have kids running around them,
Yeah.
right? So I think we need. So this is what I realize: is we need, for our busy lifestyle, we need a different way to meditate.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why I introduced 21 different ways to meditate in this book, to see what works for you.
No, that is good. It's good. What you said is absolutely true. The understanding, first of all, having knowing where meditation came from, and it came from the monks, but obviously, like what you said, the different reasons we cannot practice it the way it's been practiced, by the monks. But there are ways that you could practice it now, and it's not necessarily sitting down and closing your eyes and humming, for a period of time. But it's that consciousness. You're carrying that consciousness daily with you and learning to focus.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We cannot make better decisions. We cannot act with empathy. We cannot be focused, present, and creative when our neurochemistry is hijacked. Meditation allows us to have control on that neurochemistry.
So it's kind of, how would I put it, like an anchor. So it's, if you're going along, it kind of drags you back, you pull back and you become conscious of what's going on around you, right?
Yes, yes. It allows you to detach from your thoughts.
From the thoughts.
Because your thoughts become your feelings become your behavior, and your behavior creates your results. So once we can detach from our thoughts, we can stop that chain.
That
And
chain,
then,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, and be in the present and address what's happening. Interesting. I like the way you put it, detached from your thought. Okay. All right. So you started speaking about leadership based on, so had you written this book before you left the accounting profession?
Yes,
Okay, so you left the accounting profession.
in
You
December 2020, and
you wrote
I
this book,
June 2020.
and then you started going on leadership coaching and leadership.
So initially, it was I was doing one-to-one business coaching, business plus life coaching. So I was only working with business owners. In 2020, I thought, like, I created this vision or mission rather for myself, that I want to positively impact 1 billion lives. And that's when I thought, okay, working one on one will not, like I
Not
could
do
not,
it.
yeah, I will not be able to achieve that. So
Okay.
I wanted to work with organizations.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's when I
Okay.
started Amwell Academy.
Okay.
And I did my MSc in organizational psychology, became an organizational psychologist.
When did you when did you do that, and how when did you finish? If you finished your accounting program in 9 months, how long did it take for you to do organizational psychologist
So this was a full-time
degree?
course at university. So it did take me 1 year, yes.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
that's fair enough.
But I did the full-time course while growing the business 100% year on year.
Okay, so at that point you decided to go and do psychologist so that you could obviously speak at a larger scale, right? And so, how has it been for you since then in terms of the coaching that you do, the people that you speak, the lives that you're impacting? What has been the greatest challenges for you, if you've experienced any?
So I think it's been rewarding. It's been really rewarding because the amount of so for my one-to-one coaching, you can see the transformation that people go through because we all have limitless potential. Is how we tap into that. For organizations also, when I do the work and I can see the results in how the shift that's happening, because often what we think is we have to choose between business and wellness. My work helps you create both.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where we're coming to now, resilience. I know you had told me about the framework that you had designed. How do you see, my question now is, how do you see resilience in what you're doing? Speaking about leadership, in speaking, building maybe teams, project teams. How does resilience fit into your
Yes,
vision, what you're doing, when you coach people?
yes. So whether we talk about individuals or whether we talk about organizations, uh, uh, we all want um, so happiness and fulfillment, which is growth. Fulfillment comes from growth, and well-being. Happiness is well-being. But the problem is that, as we know, growth only happens when we step outside our comfort
Comfort
zone.
zone. Yep.
But if stepping outside our comfort zone is impacting our well-being, we kind of stuck.
You're stuck here.
Yeah.
You're
So we
right.
have to choose between growth or well-being. For growth and well-being to coexist, we need resilience.
Correct.
Yes.
I
Only
like
when we
that.
have
Yeah.
that resilience, we can step outside our comfort
Comfort
zone
zone.
and still
Yeah.
be not
Yeah.
impacted.
Yeah. And grow and
Yes.
develop. If not, yeah. No, I like the way you've put it. So resilience is in the middle. It's what connects um the well-being and stepping outside your comfort zone in order to grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Without resilience, we will just be like,
Would
yeah, we would be flipping
Without
back.
resilience, really, I don't even think you want to step out of your comfort zone, because when you try it and you see, it's scary, you you would pull back. And
Exactly.
like you said, your well-being will be impacted upon your mental health and all that. So you just like, what, I can't handle it, and then
Exactly.
you
A lot of
would
self-help
retreat.
talk is about you need to have the courage to step outside your comfort zone. I say you need to have resilience as well,
Resilience. Yep.
because that's what happens exactly as you say. People take the courage, they go outside, then they have two
Face
options.
it. Yeah.
They have two options. They either keep continuing feeling the pain and still doing it, pushing themselves. One day they lead to burnout, or they just say, "Oh, it's too scary.
Too
I will
hard.
quit." So they're going to quit
It's too
if they
hard.
don't have resilience.
It's too hard. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for breaking it down like that. So, in summary, have a couple of questions. What would you say makes an individual resilient?
So it's acceptance of the non-controllable.
You have a way of putting these things in a very, very nice, succinct way. Acceptance of the uncontrollable. Okay. So
Mhm.
you accept it and you don't do anything about it?
No, you do. You
Okay.
do things about controllable. You accept the non-controllable.
Okay.
So I will give you an example. I've created a framework for resilience.
Yeah.
So what's the strongest creature in related to body weight and on Earth?
Strongest creature.
Yeah,
What?
relation to their body weight.
An ant?
Ant, exactly. So that's the acronym for
Yeah.
resilience.
Yeah.
So A stands for acceptance. So let's say I had weeds in my garden. if I keep, so what we do is we resist. Yeah, I should not have weeds in my garden. I should not, and that's causing all the suffering.
All the suffering, yeah.
Yes,
The
and
frustration.
yeah,
Yeah.
and cannot be resilient if I'm resisting it.
So you accept it.
Yes, yes, there are weeds in my garden, and that's okay.
So that's the A.
Yeah,
Acceptance.
yes.
Okay.
The second N is neutral thinking, and that's managing our neurochemistry.
Okay.
So our brain is designed to look for negatives, and that's because it's designed for survival. Few thousand years ago, when you come out of your cave, there's a tiger on one side and there's a rainbow on the other side. You don't want to stand there and enjoy the rainbow. Tiger will eat you, and that's why it's designed that like that. So N stands for neutral thinking. Because our brain is designed to look for negatives, we have to make conscious choice to look for positives.
Positive.
So going back to my example, yes, there are weeds in my garden, but I have food in my fridge. I have water to eat. My family is healthy. Yeah. So it's taking a step back, zooming out from the problem and saying, okay, there's a lot of other things.
Other good things
Yeah.
happening, right? Apart from the weed in the
Yes,
garden.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So that's the neutral thinking.
And I think that will kind of put you in a position of strength, when you're not beaten down by the negativity.
Yeah.
But immediately you think about, and you wrote about in the book gratitude. So grateful for what you have,
Yes.
apart from looking at and focusing on the negative.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because we only see what we're looking for. For example, how many red cars did you see today?
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for red cars.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So when we don't look for it, we don't see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. Yeah.
So the last letter T stands for think possibility.
Okay.
And that's when we are going towards growth. So first we create that well-being aspect, that okay, I'm okay with where things are, and then we go for growth, where we think, okay, yes, there are weeds in my gardens, but I can do something about it. I can get somebody to get rid of it, or I can get rid of it myself.
Okay. Two questions. The second to the last is, how can someone build resilience? Just in a short, simple phrase, how can someone? I know you said a resilient individual is someone that accepts the uncontrollable. But how can that person build resilience?
Yeah. So there's four things to focus on. Environment. So their environment should be a friendly environment where they and it's the mental environment as well, how they're talking to themselves. So people around them, how they talk, and how they talk to themselves. The other one is tools. So what tools do they have in order to deal with challenges? Then there's
Give me an example of a tool.
so for example, how do they manage their time?
Okay.
How do they manage? So I have a tool for this. So I talk about difference between situation and challenge. Right, everything is not a challenge. Nothing is a problem. So this tool is called how to dissolve any problem in 30 seconds or less.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, the first question you ask is this really a problem? Because that guy who overtook me on a motorway is not really a problem. I can stop thinking about it. Yeah. If the answer is no, the problem is not really a problem dissolved. But if the answer is yes, it's a problem, then the next question I ask is there anything I can do about it? If the answer is no, it's not a problem, it's a situation. How do you deal with a situation? If it's raining, you don't try to stop the rain. You don't try to solve the problem. You just accept it. You carry an umbrella. If the answer is yes, there's something you can do about it, then you write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you can do about it, put time in your calendar to do it, and then stop calling it a problem. Call it a challenge instead.
Okay.
So tools like these tools help us to actually quickly move from a state of feeling as if everything is falling apart to being more in control.
More in control. Yeah.
Yes. And then there's mindset. So
mindset is
how we look at things.
Yeah, I think mindset is really the most important, because everything starts from the mind. What you create, whatever is going on, starts from the mind, really. And I think that's what meditation helps with.
Yes.
Calming the chatter, the mind, when your mind is all over the place.
Yes.
Coming to that space of focus and consciousness and being in control. Thank you so much, Anurag, for very interesting. I know I had to like cut so many bits and pieces. And like I said, you're going to come back again to the podcast so that we would talk more on resilience.
It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you so much. So that's the end of another session. And you can reach Anurag. I think you're very active on LinkedIn, right? You also have a website that
Superhumaninyu.com and amwell.com.
Okay, so I think all that is on LinkedIn, but I also put it in the chat below. Thank you once again, and remember to always stay encouraged, get enlightened to become empowered. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.